Hey there, folks. Welcome to the edition of Stranger in a Southern Land. I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning. Today on the program, we have the very funny stand-up comedian Clint Nohr. Clint Nohr, who was a first-round draft pick for me. He was one of the guys that I wanted on the podcast before the podcast was ever a thing. I've been a fan of Clint for quite some time. I've seen him open up for Kyle Kinane. I saw him at the Oddball Comedy Festival when he was in town. And I've just been a super huge fan of Clint Nohr. And just, he's been traveling the roads a lot over the last couple of years, much like I have, but I've been doing pro wrestling. So we had that in common. We talked about that a little bit. But also, too, Clint had some missteps early in his career. And so did I. So we kind of talked about that a little bit and had a very in-depth conversation. But, Clint's got his head on straight. He's been, running into a lot of success recently and working very hard for that success. So I highly recommend that you guys check him out. But guess what? You can check him out this week at Tremonstrous Comedy Wednesdays at the Tremont Music Hall this Wednesday. Clint Nohr will be headlining. I highly recommend that you come out for that. So if you enjoy this podcast and you're like, hey, I want to hear more from this guy Clint Nohr, make sure you come out for Tremonstrous Comedy Wednesdays at the Tremont Music Hall this Wednesday. Also, quick note, if you want to see me do comedy and you live in South Carolina, well, hey, this week's a good week for that because I will be performing at the Greenville, South Carolina Comedy Zone for the Fight Night Comedy Competition. So make sure you come out and support me. So all you South Carolina wrestling fans that haven't seen me wrestle down there recently, come out to the Comedy Zone in Greenville, South Carolina this Thursday, October 15th. Anyways, if you want to support me, make sure you follow me on social media. I am available on Twitter at ManScoutManning and on Instagram at ManScoutManning. If you have a question about the podcast, make sure you email me at jake@sslshow.com. Or if you want to book me for an upcoming wrestling event, make sure you email me at manscoutmanning@yahoo.com. Anyways, let's jump into this wonderful and fantastic and very funny conversation with the stand-up comedian Clint Nohr here on Stranger in a Southern Land. Ladies and gentlemen, here with Clint Nohr, a local comedian of here in Charlotte. Oh, hello. How are you? You gave me that point like I was doing the introduction wrong. Like,
no. Local comedian is fine.
Yeah, I try not to say local comedian because you're definitely not local, especially a lot of the shows you do. You live here locally.
Yeah, I do live here locally. Yeah.
But you do shows everywhere.
Yeah. Between here, Statesville.
And I don't want to give it an and I don't want to give oh, he's only a local comedian. He's not that good. I never want to give that inclination.
No. I've tried next week. That's fine.
And I've tried very hard not to do that. So unfortunately, you're the first comedian that I've done that.
Oh no, you're fine. No.
Okay.
No.
But especially since when I first started this thing, you were one of the first people I wanted to have on here.
Oh, thank you. That's very funny.
When I came up with a list of people, I was like, no, I want.
Good choice. I wish I could contribute. I had something more to say today.
Well, it wasn't a question, so it was just more of a compliment.
Good. Thank you. Well, yeah.
So I'm doing an awful job as an interview. I start off with a statement as opposed to a question.
What is it normally centered around? What do you normally, or do you have? What's your format?
My format, we just talk for a while, but it's mostly I'm interviewing people that live in the Southeast that are successful in doing things and going around. I knew that.
You started with comics, yeah.
I knew that I'd get a chuckle out of you.
I figured you were working your way up.
Yeah. Well, it is episode 30 something, right?
Oh yeah.
I got room to grow.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
so
you'll get.
I got to start on the ground floor.
You know the people in Virginia. Episode 75.
Yeah, by then.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, it's just anybody in the Southeast. That's just I want to hear your story and stuff like that.
Great.
And right now, where you grew up is underwater right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Sumter, South Carolina.
Sumter's, they're bucketing themselves out. I had some good jokes about it.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
I was gonna say you'd be the authority on jokes about South Carolina.
Yeah, I think I'm allowed.
Yeah,
I think I'm allowed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. My parents seem to be they're fine, so I think I'm okay to joke.
Yeah,
dogs are fine. All the friends that I know of are fine. There's 12 people that died. I tried, through Facebook and everything. Pretty sure I have no connections to those people, so we're all right.
Well, even if you had connections, that'd give you more of a right to say it then.
Well, exactly.
You know?
That's a good point. I need to start digging. Somebody's got to be connected.
You start doing family histories to see if any of these people...
try the genealogy of some of these people that I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, are you connected to that guy? The one that was face down. Decided it was okay to swim to Kmart. I silenced my phone. Okay. Oh no, that's. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you just made it loud.
Okay,
it's okay.
There we go. All right.
But we're back in.
I'm new with technology, all of it.
Yeah.
So this is okay. This is great. What is your background?
My background.
I'm not allowed to interview him.
Well, it's okay.
Cool.
We'll go there. I too am from a small town, but I'm a small town in Iowa.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I grew up in a town of 82 people.
Oh wow.
Yeah. When I do that bit about it, that's actually the truth. Is
82.
82 people. 21 of those people lived in the trailer park.
Yeah.
My father became mayor because of 21 write-in votes.
Small town Iowa, 80. Wow. So this wasn't wow.
Yeah, and then I moved here just to do wrestling. I was only supposed to be here on a 3-month internship, and I've now been here for 10 years.
Oh wow! Hey man, you're doing what? You got to be the star of that town, Iowa.
For the most part, I would say so.
Right.
All right. But anyways, that's the thing is I grew up in a small town and didn't have I just wanted to get out.
Yeah.
Was that kind of like your thought?
Absolutely.
When you wanted to get out.
Absolutely. But I didn't take any measures to I didn't become an athlete or excel or I wasn't smart or dedicated to school. So yeah, it was really tough to try to find a way out. So I was very close. I could have been stuck. In fact, I did boomerang back a couple of times.
Well, that's the thing is sometimes those small towns will suck you in.
Yeah.
Especially I was very lucky with our education system. Like my mom was very smart and she was a school teacher and she was instrumental in getting internet in our schools in the early 90s.
Wow.
So a lot of people in my class are now doing good jobs because they've been familiar with the internet for years.
Oh, wow.
Far ahead of other people. So the education process you can get out, but there are a lot of other towns that weren't that lucky and there's people that are still living there.
That's almost unfair. Yeah. So you love? Oh wow, no. Okay.
So yeah, I know how those small towns can be. Is they can really suck you in for a long time.
Yeah. I see it. We have lifers back home, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It works for them. And the mindset isn't changing much. I go home. My parents. Yeah, it's weird. My parents are we came from up north. We were transplants. We weren't military like everybody else around us, and. So we were completely different, and so my parents are much different than everybody around, which is really, I don't know. It was a neat thing. Mm-hmm. I think after I was finally gone and out of the house, my parents finally started to make friends in the neighborhood, and so it took that one. Yeah. None of this is funny.
No, it's okay. It's not supposed to be funny. We're telling a story here. We're telling your story.
Oh, man. Quite a tale. Quite a tale. Yeah. So South Carolina. The Iowa. I was just in Iowa too. May.
I know. I saw the tweets about it. And
yes.
In Dubuque, that's like an hour away from where I grew up.
Yeah, Dubuque and Cedar Rapids. Yeah. They were. I liked it there.
Yeah.
Not, but they have I had made a joke in Cedar Rapids. They have an African American history museum, and I made a joke about that's how they teach people about black people here.
It's true.
Safely behind glass, and that's where they keep it. Oh, okay,
yeah.
It was the whitest place on earth.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Like when a black person came into our town, it was like an alien landed. We're like looking for their spaceship in the cornfield. Where are the crop circles? Like obviously they're out there somewhere.
The scene in Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, and you're just like you almost wanted to go up and poke them. Like,
yeah.
Like,
are you real?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I bet you got laid a lot just from being the black guy.
Oh yeah, if there was a black guy in our town, he would have been
crush it.
All the time.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Like even my buddy, like Mike Osmark, he had a little bit darker complexion. I think that contributed to it. I think people thought that maybe he was a little mixed, so I think they kind of They kind of thought that they were
exotic.
Doing exactly. Yeah,
being on vacation.
I think that's kind of what their thought process was. But I mean, I had a graduating class of like 21 people, so there's only like 8 girls.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, it was like 12 girls.
All right.
But like, you don't want to like get with the girl that got with your best friend.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, you almost
There,
have
you
to.
have to.
But
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Like it just seemed
Wow.
so. Like to
What
me,
an upstanding guy. You just had to move.
so by my
2,000
junior
miles
year,
away.
it's over for me. He's hit everybody.
Oh man.
And then the one girl that didn't like me, so that was
Oh,
screwed. It was
bummer.
screwed for high school.
Yeah. Well, good call coming here, man.
Yeah,
I guess.
there's far more women here.
Yeah, like there's 2 million people. Did you come here out of high school? Where did you go to college?
No, I went to college.
Oh,
Western
yeah,
Illinois.
yeah, right.
So.
Where's
Well,
that?
I'm guessing you didn't go to
Oh,
college.
hell no. No. God, no. I did go to, right down the street. We are, am I allowed to say it? It's close location. We are off Independence Boulevard. I went to a broadcast school.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty intense to get into broadcast school. What you need is $8,000
Yes.
and you pass the test. Everybody with that whose parents could come up with the money.
When really all you need to do is just start working someplace.
Right.
Because I have, it's a communications degree, so it's very pointless. But right now they changed it to broadcasting school. So now if I was to get my degree at the same place, it would say broadcasting.
Oh, yeah.
But it says communications on my degree. But I went to school for broadcasting.
But you have the 4 year or 2 or 4 year whatever degree.
4
right?
year, yeah, I got
4
the
year.
degree.
Yeah. See, and I have friends. They say the same thing. Communications degrees use now. This thing down the road. Not to say anything bad about, and I'm not going to name the name. I'm just looking at lights here.
There's a lot of them.
But this already learned more than I had. This proves that in 4 years versus one.
The fact
that
that you use lights in broadcast school.
When I was in it, I got in because I worked at the local radio station, and then
Okay.
I kind of, sort of, half dropped out of school. Really, I got kicked out right before I was done. But I really liked the radio station.
What would you get kicked out for?
Booze.
Oh,
Yeah, but I was right on the last, like, whatever infraction was going to throw me out. Like, very little minor. So I went out with a bang and, got caught with a bottle of whiskey. But, I'd given up on school last year, like many people.
Yeah.
I don't know. You always say this about, like, I'm not a military, whatever, huge thing or whatever. I'm not into all that stuff. But it was a good option. Like, we grew up in a town with an Air Force base. So it was a good option for people like me that weren't necessarily stupid, but we hated school and we didn't respect any, and a lot of my friends ended up getting kind of bailed out through the military, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I was around. I almost took as well.
Exactly, right?
Because I was in college. I was running out of money. I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yes.
Like I was in the recruiter's office. It was such a good deal that's like, just go in, get money.
Yeah.
You come out and people are going to hire you.
Yeah.
It was one of those things.
Looks good on a resume. Yeah, because you're right. Because nobody's going to care that you were an asshole for however many years in school, high school or college.
It's like hitting the reset button almost.
Yeah,
in your life. And then you come out with.
Oh, hell, this guy's got some discipline. Yeah.
Yeah.
You obviously did.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're still a disciplined guy. Like I'm
For the most part, I've had my time.
Yeah.
I've had my time.
You cut loose a little bit?
Yeah.
What are you? What are you my age? How old are you?
I'm 33.
33. Okay.
So, I mean, if you want to keep your ages.
No, I'm 34, of course not.
Okay, yeah.
No, I just turned 34.
Yeah, okay.
I'll stick to 30 for a while.
Yeah, I'll be 34
I'll
in
keep
March.
the joke. 34 in March, okay.
so-
6 months apart.
Yeah.
All right. No, right to the broadcast school was easy. I worked at the local radio station when we were still using cassettes, and then none of this isn't funny or interesting, but anyhow, I was playing.
No, it's
church
interesting to me.
things.
Screw everybody else.
People that might.
I never get a chance to talk to you at open mic, so this is my chance to get to know you a little better.
Yeah,
so.
no. So that's what it is. We were still using like reel to reel. It's late 90s,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you
Mid
gotta
to
do the
late 90s.
splices and everything.
Splices.
Yes.
Which is a pain in the ass. Yeah.
Oh, they were awful.
Yeah. So and then I worked at Muzak, which is no longer a thing anymore.
Music? You mean like the copyrighted, copyright free music?
Yeah.
Would you write it or write it?
It's funny when you hear that stuff in the elevator. It does. I think they do. I can't verify. I can't confirm. I wasn't in that department. That secret 8-person department. But I almost think that they did take stuff and they would put like one beat off of the thing. And it's ours.
You have to change it a certain percentage,
Absolutely.
and then it's yours.
Right.
Because on GarageBand, which is on all the Macs,
yes,
there's a copyright-free track called "Phased and Infused," and it's just like "Dazed and Confused," but it's a little bit different.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. So it's one notch off or whatever, one beat off because you don't want to get sued by Lenny Kravitz or somebody.
Yeah, whoever.
So that's but no, it was one of my greatest jobs, and then then I got into comedy, and then I had to pick. And then I've had awful jobs within comedy, aside from comedy.
Well, because you're trying to support.
Yeah.
I feel that pain because there's a lot of pro wrestlers are trying to do that as well.
Really? Yeah.
Like you've got to get that thing get that job that supports the wrestling hobby or the comedy hobby.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, I didn't know. And when you got into it was interesting because they are really, really close. And except you have a circuit where that seems to be a little bit more.
I've got a very good setup right now.
Okay.
Like I've got a very good setup, and I've got a certain standing, and also to my niche market is exploding right now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, like it's probably the best it's been in years.
What would be your niche market?
Well, I mean the niche market of pro wrestling.
Oh, it is. It's back.
Yeah,
okay.
It's back up again.
All right.
It's better than it's been in a long time. Like 2009 was a real rough time.
Okay.
2009 and 2007.
So what would now I want to I was into it when I was like 8 years old, and I know that sounds condescending, and it's not meant like that. I really do think it's neat, with what it is. But now what I remember as an adult was Hogan, not even the racist stuff, but before that the horrific tape with his son. After he killed his buddy in the car and all that. So is that 2009? Is that around that time?
Yeah, it's about that time too. But like, there's a lot of other things going on with the art of it.
How's Brooke doing?
I haven't heard her new album. I'll let you know when it comes out on iTunes if you want. I'll keep you. I'll get the updates.
She's got to be fat. All right. I don't want to kill your career, but
no, it's okay. Like Hogan, I've met him once, so I've already gotten the handshake from him. So,
oh yeah,
yeah,
that's good. Did you sanitize the racism off your head?
Well, I'm bald, so he probably
he was cool with you.
That's why he walked over to me.
You're pasty. Yeah. I can see.
I'm gonna. You hang out with me.
Yeah.
Me and my new Brutus the Barber Beefcake. My new buddy.
I don't even know. I don't even know what he said, but that's what I know. All these but now it's making a comeback. Regardless.
Yeah, well, at the independent level for sure.
Cool. Okay.
Because they've done this thing now where they're investing. There was a time there in 2007, 2009 where they were taking retired football players and guys that were bodybuilders and weightlifters and trying to make them wrestlers. And then the same hot indie guys from 2004 were the same hot indie guys from 2009. So there was no forward progression.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there was, there was no movement. But now all of a sudden they started signing some of those guys, started putting some of them on top. And then also too, they've made acknowledgments letting people know, hey, these guys came from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then those places have exploded, like your Ring of Honors and your kind of like your third tier, not really third tier, but like the third or fourth company that's on TV that doesn't get as many ratings as WWE.
Sure, right.
But those companies have exploded because they seem like they're a feeder system now.
Because
people are like, oh, I want to watch Ring of Honor because their champion may end up on WWE someday.
Oh,
so
I
their
see.
business,
Yeah.
it's like people go to open mics in New York because they might be seeing the next.
Right. Pick the rookie early and
exactly,
right.
And that's kind of how that is. So there's more money at this lower level because people want to see who the big stars are because they've made knowledge that they pull from these people.
Yeah.
And then also too, they've gotten smart that they can manipulate these people better because these are people who have dedicated their whole lives to wrestling.
Yeah.
And traveling across the globe and have done anything for it. Where these football players, they get a little bit of experience. They make them look good. Then they think they can be MMA guys. And then they peace out.
Is that right? Yeah. And they probably already are used to some sort of luxury. Coming in from that
exactly.
world, right?
And they cater to them. And then when things don't like it, they bail. With these people will they'll run into a brick wall blindly.
Yeah. I got
it just makes more better business sense,
Yeah.
And then these guys get TV time, and they know how to take TV time and go back on the indie circuit and make money that way.
Yeah. Okay. Nowadays, I think I'm kind of following it, but I could just see some poor old bastard that came out of league of NFL or something like that.
Yeah,
there's not used to saying a Motel 6 or anything.
Well, there's a few guys that are doing that. I Red Roof Inn.
It's
my favorite one to stay at.
It's like my best friend who I'm crashing with now. He's used to working at like NASCAR, and he actually just called me from the road, and they put him up in the raddest. It's ridiculous money,
Yeah,
in the sport.
Or I think where you and me aren't too far off.
Yeah,
on like our schedules and travel and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Like you and me are a little bit closer.
Okay, yeah. He's off they're paying for everything.
Yeah,
he doesn't even know what like a roadside hotel is. What would be Holiday Inn Express would give me bed bugs? I'm like, no. That's hopefully not. But I mean, it's for us. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't know where I'm at. I'm happy with it. So,
exactly. Well, how do now that we've given you the lay of land of my thing?
Yeah,
let's talk about you. How did you get into comedy?
Oh crap. I don't know. I'm quiet and I'm introverted, but
Seems like there's wheels turning though.
yeah.
You want to share that with people.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely. I mean, yeah, I was quiet, and then I don't know, it switched. Everybody that I worked with at Muzak, they transplanted that. Sorry about the long backstory, but they transplanted that office from Seattle to here in Charlotte, for money or whatever. Somebody here in Charlotte, I think, bought the company, and all these really cool people were around, right? And they looked cool, and I could tell they were cooler. And they were all in bands and stuff, and the girls seemed to really gravitate towards these guys and stuff. I was like, oh, goddamn. And I go, well, I wanted attention, and I wasn't musically talented at all. And I had always in my head thought about, it. And the ironic thing, I always said, it's like it's got to be an arrogant egomaniac thing to do. You can't do that without just being a complete jerk, to get people to turn the lights off on 100 people and then put the lights on you. It has to be. And then, but really in the back of I always wanted to try it.
Yeah.
And that's when I called up. At the time, Charlotte didn't have the scene it does now. Yeah. This is years ago. It's 12 years ago. So I called up the Comedy Zone, which is our home flagship club, and asked for an open mic. They didn't have it. They sold me on the workshop. It happened to be booked by or run by the guys who are now booking it and back then booking it. So, yeah, and it caught really early for me. Yeah. The problem was I was also using concurrently with the developing substance, issues, and then it bottomed out pretty quick. Also, so it really set me back. I definitely wasn't mature enough in retrospect, and I'm still playing cleanup from those years. Like when I was 21 when I started, I was just a complete asshole. And I don't know. I never said a word. Like I wasn't even used to drinking in bars legally, and now you're telling me that people have to listen to me in the bar. So this whole thing, there was like a transformation of being completely quiet to then just being completely a jerk and the spoiled child that I am on the inside, and it just completely came out. And then I just thought I could do whatever. And
was it almost like a sense of like because definitely in wrestling, like there's always those. The guy would get a 6-pack and then drive down the road. And guys, it almost any comedy, the stories are the same. Like it almost romanticizes.
Absolutely. Well, it did, and then somebody actually pulled me aside. It was a manager at the club at the time. And he goes, all that stuff about people doing drugs in the back of the Comedy Store and Pryor and all that. That was all 25 years ago, and doing it now is just pathetic. Yeah. And I go, wow. Yes, good point. And then raged on for another 9 years. But
I'll take that. I'll follow that away.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. That may come in handy.
So I shot myself in the foot a few times with a few people, and also I think, and I see other people doing it to here and there. I pushed I pushed other people into thinking that I could. I tried to climb the ranks before I was able. I think, and then that set me back. Well, because they have the opening act, and then the host and MC, and then they have the middle act, and then the headliner. And I really thought that after a year or something like that, I could go feature. There was no problem. And then no, I was absolutely petrified for one, and couldn't hold my own. Looked like an amateur, and made whoever booked me probably look bad in those clubs. So. When somebody you're contracted to do 30 minutes and you do, 15 of those 30, that probably doesn't look good. So it took me a while. Now, I don't know. Now it's better than it's ever been. Yeah. As far as I feel that way, even though I'm now I'm at another midlife crisis with the whole thing. I'm actually at the same point where I'm at years ago in the sense of if I don't try this, I'll regret it forever. And that's how I felt about comedy. If I didn't try it once, I was going to regret it. And now I'm at, if I don't move to a different market, a more challenging market, and, try to give it a shot somewhere in a place that, where you can get some good industry exposure, I suppose, then I'm going to, then that will be my last chance, So this is kind of my chance to do that. I don't know. So that's where I feel like now I have to kind of take a leap of some sort.
Well, when you were going through all that stuff,
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, that's what podcasts are supposed to be.
Good.
If you weren't wordy, we'd have a problem.
Yeah, I guess.
if we'd have a 5-minute podcast, then I'd be disappointed.
That's how I was when I was featuring first time.
Yeah, but you know, very early when you were, like I said, you were making a lot of mistakes. Your head wasn't in, you know, probably where it needed to be.
No.
Like, you know, was there ever a thought, like, even to yourself, like, oh, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but like, I'll worry about that later.
Probably, yeah. But I mean, things were switching. I had problems with coming into it, you know, with booze. I mean, obviously, I got kicked out of school for booze and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm still pretty shy, you know, in social.
Did almost like loosen you up, like you feel like I have to have a drink.
Yeah,
because alcohol has always been my big problem.
That's
well.
that's you. Yeah.
That's why you don't see me drinking a lot of these open mics, because like there was a time where 1 would turn into 2 and 2 would turn into 3,
yes.
and then it's like 2 a.m. and I don't know why I'm making my 6th screwdriver.
Right.
You know, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But at the moment in time, it felt like I had to.
That's great. I think the difference. You know, I don't know what your drinking habit is now. I can't drink at all, but I think that's the difference. You know, you just started in the last year.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between 32 and 22. I think is you kind of have that self-awareness. Okay, you know what? If I start drinking 1, 2, and then I cross that 3, 4 into, you know, fuck it. Am I allowed to say?
Yeah,
whatever.
You're
This is a
allowed to
podcast,
say
great.
Yeah,
but if you get into that, then you're you know yourself. You know, I'm gonna do something that could upset something that could hold me back. And so when you're 22, I don't think you really think about that.
No, you almost welcome that.
Yes, absolutely. You think it's part of the whole thing. You think that is, and you know, I don't know. I was an asshole.
No, and like I went through that about the same time. Yeah. Exact same time. And that's right when I first started in wrestling.
Yeah.
But it seems like to me, like, you know, in wrestling, that type of mentality is almost kind of welcomed. It'll catch up with you eventually.
Right.
And it kind of did for me for a while.
Yeah.
But the big problem I had was if things weren't going right, I would retreat to the alcohol. And then you start creating this thing of self-loathing and not creating that mental space that you need to do what you need to do.
Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. The woe is me stuff. I think that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I mean, do you have that same issue, or was it just...
now? Yeah. Not with. I mean, I don't. You know, not with like the self-medicating or, you know, like but I do. I'll just stop. I'll stop. When I came out, I had a really good, for instance, I guess, I had a really good packed July, calendar. Mm-hmm. And then when I got home, I made a lot of money and it was good. It was better than I went to, overseas for the first time. That was neat.
This year.
Yeah.
So it was all, were just in Korea.
Yeah. It was, all of it was great. And then I got back, and in August, in August, I had like pretty much nothing. Like, and I was losing a couple of things, and I still fight this issue where it kind of runs like it's tied into my self-worth. Like work is tied into my.
Yeah, I had that same problem with wrestling.
Yeah,
where if I had a bad match.
Yeah.
Especially if let's say I wrestle on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If Saturday didn't go well, I would suffer then again until the next time I wrestle. And then if my schedule wasn't full up, I was like completely like, I must be a loser. Nobody wants to book me. What's going on here?
So what does a bet without, I don't know what you talk about with wrestling or something. Everything is kind of on the table. Like, okay. Well, so you guys have, it's kind of a
if you want to say the fake word, that's okay.
I don't want to say fake, but it was a
predetermined,
predetermined, right, outcome. Yeah. But it's, so then you have this sort of, this theatrical thing in between, right? Mm-hmm. So when you say poor performance of yourself, I mean, even if you were supposed to lose, when you fucked up or you
sometimes took a guy. This is where it gets similar to comedy, as far as like you go out there and you don't connect with an audience.
Yeah. Okay.
Your performance.
Oh wow.
The performance that you put on might have worked somewhere else, but you're putting on a performance that didn't work in front of these people, or they may already don't like you because of some reason,
Wow,
whatever, and
yeah.
you didn't turn them back around, or a situation of a guy was not up to your level. So that's another thing too. Is if a guy isn't a good dance partner,
Yeah.
you're gonna suffer. And if you dumb your stuff down, so that's why I like comedy is I'm not relying upon anybody whatsoever.
Yeah.
Where in pro wrestling, you have to work with somebody, and also too, you could spend so much time. There's always this mentality of like the heel always makes the baby face look good,
Right.
And that's his job.
Yeah.
But now in this day and era, people have to like the heel. You can't get the like. Ric Flair right now, as much as he's pissed people off in like the Charlotte area, not tipping waitresses, and like I can't wear a Ric Flair t-shirt without somebody stopping me on the street saying how much, this guy was an asshole to me.
Right.
He could come back in Charlotte and be the top heel in Charlotte, like if this was like back in the 1970s with that type of heat.
Yeah.
But like now in this era of wrestling, the heels have to do the cool moves. The heels have to be like, they have to sell t-shirts. But but you're supposed to get people to hate you too, but not hate you enough that they don't buy your t-shirts and don't want to not see you on the show.
Yeah.
So that's what's really weird. It's like, watching Die Hard and rooting for the terrorist. The terrorists have to be cool enough.
That's tough, man. And it does sound like comedy, actually. To me.
But yeah, if you're in front of the wrong crowd and you do the wrong match,
Yeah.
and at a certain time, you don't get booked,
Exactly.
And then if it's a match that gets circulated online, or and then they have actual.
You have to worry about all that shit.
Yeah, and then if you like blow a spot, like if somebody's missed time for something, there's like actual websites where they put your mistakes on like a highlight reel.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah. So it'd be like somebody taking your bad set.
Yeah.
And then taking all those bad clips and putting them on a YouTube clip and then circulating them around. And sometimes those get more hits than actual matches.
That's amazing. Yeah, of course. Because if you're like me and you're not really like a sports guy, like that's what you're looking for is the blooper reel.
Yep.
So that makes total sense to me. But that I couldn't even imagine having to think about trying to connect with an audience or there's choreographed sort of thing. And then, all this stuff, all these things you have to think about mentally, all while, actual muscle elbows or whatever are coming at my face. That would suck.
Yeah.
Because at least in comedy, I still have a 50-50 shot that might happen.
Yeah.
You are actually in the thing for sure.
I know for sure I'm going to get hit.
So you have to be on. And it's funny you mentioned about like, whether the person that you paired up with. Mm-hmm. I will say that happens in comedy. I'm not I'm talking about anybody specifically.
Yeah.
But
how does that happen?
If you are an opening act for somebody and you are really good, you're just you yourself are blowing it up. But this particular person is the hometown hero or whatever it is in that particular town. Mm-hmm. I've heard people. We're gonna have to ask you to kind of dial it back a little, and you go, oh, what you mean not swear as much or not be as no, and what they kind of dance around is don't be as funny. Mm-hmm. And
that happens in wrestling as well,
right? So
like especially old timers that have been around for a while. If a kid does a bunch of high spots, they'll be like, "Oh no, you can't do." They'll yell at you like back in our day, and you're killing the business, and you're doing this. And I actually listened to those people, and it handicapped me.
Yeah.
That when I got to those other places, I didn't have the tools and I didn't have the practice doing those high spots when I should have just been saying. And that's the thing too. Now, the people that say screw those old timers are actually the ones that have blazed their trail to success.
Yeah.
As opposed to the people that listen to them.
Right. And that has to be another delicate thing with us. I still work for a lot of different people. Mm-hmm. I don't want to upset the management of, especially now coming back.
Because you want the return booking.
Absolutely. You want to be back.
Yeah.
It's money.
And they can badmouth you all you want.
Absolutely. And that's what, and you will, you'll make that, it just happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I was happy to be getting the check. But they were like, these are the restrictions that are imposed on you. And I'm not, obviously I'm not at a point where I'm building a huge fan base or anything. Comedy has so many tiers of success,
You're going to get the same out of this booking whether you crush it or not.
Yeah, probably. But I feel like, with somebody where, if somebody has a 50-50, whether they're attracting a crowd or drawing a crowd, or it's just, random people from the street, then there's a chance that some of those random from the people of the street could really actually buy into your stuff. And, hey, I want to...
You never know when you're going to make that lifelong fan.
Right, yeah.
Or the person that's going to pay attention.
So just the whole, we want you to, these are the restrictions. And, and I remember editing myself on the fly, and it just didn't, in my head. Mm-hmm. And that, I just, don't want to upset, don't want to upset Hollywood. Don't want to upset, but yeah, really it was, this person is, I see it as, almost an insecurity on their part, but I guess I kind of also understand, in a way. I don't know.
Yeah, it's their place. Yeah, I mean,
there's two.
I've done that a lot wrestling wise as well.
Have you?
Yeah, because I'm usually an opening match type of guy.
Okay.
I'm a second, third match, and I pride myself on them being that because sometimes second and third matches.
Yeah.
First match is going to kill no matter what.
Okay.
Second or third match, that's where kind of the holes are. Fourth match right before intermission.
Yeah.
People can go balls out. That's one of the guys that they paid money to see. He may not be the main event, but he's definitely one of the guys they paid money to see. And they're going to do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm always the guy that gets you from first match to fourth match.
Yeah.
Because sometimes those are the holes. And mine's always been comedy is and you want to be different.
Yeah, sure.
You don't want to give them the same thing they saw.
And that's all on you, right? You come up with your own character.
Yep, that's right.
All that is so. To me, it seems very, very close to.
Yeah, it very much is. And something that you do that I used to do a lot with wrestling is, I would have a little bit of pride, even if I'm working a fair show, like,
right.
Even though I'm not doing a million flips and things and false finishes and stuff like that. I'm still taking a lot of bumps because I have a very Southern style.
Right.
I may not take the 450 off the top, but what I'll do is I'll take 12 hip tosses or backdrops when there's not that many people there. But what I love about you and is that even in open mics, you still, no matter if there's like two people paying attention, you struggle for that. You fight for that laugh, even in an open mic situation when everybody's already conceded the fact, okay, I'm just going to come up, say the joke in the cadence that I want, and then I'll go back and edit, and then hopefully when I'm in front of a crowd, it'll work. You will almost masochistically try and bring the people that are there along with you with the laughter. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I love you.
I never, what is it, a 10%? No, not even a 10% success.
You give 100% effort to make everybody in that room laugh.
Well, since it came up, this is why I'm glad you noticed. Thank you. I guess.
It's pretty noticeable. It's noticeable.
Because if I was like a third party's perspective looking at that, I would go, that is fucking pathetic. He's pretending like he's playing to Madison Square Garden and he's in he's in a coffee shop and that won't let him say the F word, but he's trying so hard to get, you're right, the approval.
Yeah.
Which is everybody, what it's all about, right? And so I look at that. Yes, I probably do. And even now tonight, it was like, we do this for an hour. Do I go out to this place that arguably my least favorite place to do? Yeah. Our amateur night or whatever, unpaid spot, right? Yeah. Like my least favorite, one of my least favorite. That's not a nice thing to say. I love the people that work there.
Yeah.
But anyhow. Without getting on a tangent, but I do that because I just realized today, and I was thinking about it. One of the things when I was younger and I started out, we didn't have a lot of open mics. We didn't have as much of a scene. I remember we were like hearing about all these scenes. We were 10 years behind. Evidently Nashville or Atlanta and all this stuff. There were great scenes that supported the arts, but not so much for us here. Yeah. So we only had a couple of options a week, and now we do. We can get away. It is nice. So, and I never took advantage, even of all the stage time I could have had. My head was so out of the game with whatever else I was chasing after that I never took advantage of that, and I now regret that. I now see the importance of just being up there. And if anything, and it sounds sad, but if anything, it teaches you how to take your lumps.
Yeah.
You just
pay your dues. You're it'll never get any worse than this.
Yeah, right. So maybe it's trying to give yourself thick skin. I always sort of regret it in the moment, and I always question, what am I learning? What am I learning by trying to? Why am I giving these people a show. These people that aren't going to come around in 5 minutes, regardless of anything I do.
Yeah.
Right. So what am I doing? And but I know now that just forcing myself to get, to me, it's like exercise also. Yeah. I don't exercise, or
this is how you work out.
Right. Yeah. So it's a discipline of some sort, so I have to do this 5 times a week, or else, because you hear about these other cities at, where people are getting up 5, 6, 7 times a night, and you're going, how do I, and then I see these people at festivals, and they're 10 years younger than me, and they come out just like, they're beasts, and I'm like, oh man, where were they? And they go, oh yeah, well, he's in San Francisco or whatever, and he can get up this many times a night, and he that's why he's a killer. And I go, okay, well, that makes sense. But so I have to kind of force myself to do what I would never do before. Almost, I think that's the other thing about like the entitlement and the arrogance when I was starting out. It went from the humility went out the door like almost immediately. Mm-hmm. I never had like attention from girls or anything like this. So all this was new, and there was like an entitlement that kind of. So I probably felt like unpaid spots were almost beneath me of some sort. I'm sure I felt like that back then.
Yeah.
I
felt that way a lot about wrestling as well. Like, oh, I'm only going to get this for that.
Yeah, right.
And I definitely in this last, now that I'm at this point, I feel that way. Like, oh, if I'm only going to get this. But then I started to think, I can't remember what it was. Oh, Mike Birbiglia's movie, Sleepwalk with Me. You know that part? I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
There's a part where he's talking to a comedian, and obviously like, very bitter that he's up here or whatever. And he's talking like, that's my agent over there. She's horrible. She's the worst, And Birbiglia was portraying himself like his first or second year in comedy or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And this guy had obviously been doing it for 10 years. Yeah. He's like, that's my agent over there. She's got me booked 5 different states, and I'm only getting $150 a shot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember watching that, and I remember like it's very new to come. Oh man, 5 states. Like I think that's like the greatest thing ever. But then like that's when it hit me is that when I saw that movie, I had just turned down a tour to China because I was like, oh fuck, this isn't enough money. Fuck that.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I started really, oh fuck, like.
Yeah.
There was a time in wrestling I would have just dropped everything just to go do that because I loved it and just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But now I have this new thing that I want to love and just go do it. So it's like I have this weird perspective on things.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably much like yourself right now.
Yeah.
I think that comes with being 30.
Yeah.
It's like if I really wanted to do this, I would just take it and not do it. Say yes and think about it later.
Dude, I'm doing it in 2 weeks. I'm doing this, and I look at this of what I'm doing, and it's outrageous of what I've signed up for.
But what did you sign up for?
I do like a Wednesday in Cleveland, and then a night on the Canadian border in the Upper Peninsula, which is another 8 hours or 9 hours away or something.
Yeah. Michigan is a much longer state than you
take.
Big
states out there, yeah.
Yeah, it's much longer than we take advantage of.
And I did this first time for these guys last year. The shows are a lot of fun, and it's my first time in one of those states. I think it was my first time, and so it was a new experience and stuff. But the same thing, and then I'm making exactly $150, $200 a night, and then and it ends up, and it goes through Wisconsin on a Friday, and then Saturday. Duluth, Minnesota. Then I have 3 days off to somehow, but get down to like an actual full-time club in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. So, and that'll be a night, where I'll actually get, get out of the car and take a breather for a couple of days and kind of settle in. But and then I drive back here, and I'm in Virginia, and then I fly out to the West Coast. But
well, you're already halfway there.
Yeah, to me, it's great. Yeah, I know.
You're in Oklahoma. You just go take a left.
I should have brought I should have bought the ticket from. Yeah, this Oklahoma thing. This other week of work that
you're halfway there. You're halfway there.
But I now I am really actually I have a lot of gratitude for these things, even though I was telling my. I don't know where we're at, and she's moving, but half Asian, half girlfriend. She was like, "Why are you doing?" And I go, "Well, I've never come out of one of these things a weaker comic, unless I was out there, partying it up and looking for, booze or whatever." So I have that, so I know that I'll come back. I'll be better than I was the time before if I focus. my car's got 250,000 miles on it, but so that's a lot of time in your own head. I fight that a lot, but I do have a lot more gratitude than I had when I first started toward it all, and because I'm getting enough, festival stuff. I've gotten in a couple, and getting a little bit of attention there, and here and there I'll get an email for something, to read for something, and I go, well, I didn't get it, but okay, here and there.
But you're in the mix. It keeps you, and you always want to be ready for that.
Yeah.
You never know when that one opportunity where you needed to be ready for
exactly.
Something.
Yeah. So I always, so now, and I think back, like you were talking about China, and I've never, and this is something I hate myself for. My mom's half Swedish, and she went to Sweden when I was like 15 or something, and I stayed behind in South fucking Carolina to work at a camp for special needs, which I really did like the job. Sorry, spit. Right. So, but I really did like the spit again. All right. But I didn't want to go. That's why I told my mom I had this chance, and I didn't go. The real reason was that's right. It's because I really liked that's why I said I liked the camp. But the real reason was I was afraid to fly over an ocean. I didn't want to tell people that I barely flown a little bit. But that was like, I don't know what my rationale was there. It was like, you're going to live, if you crash on land as opposed to in the ocean where you just have no chance. Yeah. I was a fucking moron. But no, so this was the first time getting out of the country was just a few months ago. I've been on the Mexican border and Canadian border, never gone over. And so it's something that I was like, oh man, I started to like think I'm a real freaking hillbilly, I'm just, this uncultured. And so when the Korea thing came up, it was like money wasn't even going to be
an issue.
An issue, yeah.
You're just going just to go because this is experience.
Yeah, and comedy's taking me there. Like whatever I've done, they're dropping. It was I think it was like $2,500 with that because they bought the ticket around and they took care of everything while I was there, and then. I got a little envelope of my pay later.
That a certain government won't know.
Right? Right. Because I was like, well, where's my itinerary? And the guy was like, you have it. You have your flight itinerary. And
are these Korean clubs or the American speaking or the army based things?
No. So it was off base.
Okay.
Yeah. So
but American speaking.
Yeah. Well, now the first night was in Seoul, and they actually do have a stand up Seoul, which it's a small scene of guys that. So that's a mix of there's some military, but there's a lot of teachers, engineers, I guess.
Yeah, Americans that want to hear people talk. In English,
and absolutely, I think there's an Irish, and a couple of just English speaking guys that are there, Australian. So and they kind of make up that scene a little bit, and it's neat. What I didn't notice too. Just kind of since we're on, a lot of people don't want to come back. Military guys, even because they have kids here and they don't want to come back. Yeah. But the military, none of them. I mean, everyone I talked to was like, we love it here. So, and they were signing up for extra. But and then the next few nights was just off base, and that was an incredible audience. They can still smoke in the club. This is where I'm a diva now. Or I'm like, oh man, they chain
tear
smoking
up your voice.
Yeah, it screws my voice. And I go, well, that's gonna stink. But no, that I don't know. That was just cool. It was, and the audience was so I don't know. There's a lot of they were into it, and these are they're 20-year-old guys that have disposable income. They get drunk for $15. They have free housing. So it was I don't know. It was just an incredible experience. And then, I didn't get to take a tour of the country or anything, I kind of
But you're doing your craft in another country.
It's awesome. It was,
what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. It was really, I don't even, and I can't even really capture it on a resume even. Like, I don't even know what it would do other than, our buddy here, Nick, in town was like, it's just something that's great. That's cool.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, that's about what it is. I don't know if it's a huge resume builder, but it's something, and it's
so
cool.
Something the host can say before you come out.
Absolutely. I used it last night.
There you go.
So no, I don't know. Yeah. So now I do think that every time I get, and I do really, really still enjoy going up there, and I know that those nights in front of 2 people, unpaid spots. It's just, that's part of the discipline. So I don't know how much I mean, I can only imagine how much shit you have to do in front of your, I feel bad, I'm really cursing a lot. But
it's okay.
As far as your regimen of like, maintaining an athlete, now we're in our 30s, I don't know.
That's a complete, that's a big part of it for me, is just keeping myself up.
So, yeah. So, I mean, and you do that still for the passion of doing that.
Well, finally, I'm doing it for the passion. Before, I didn't know why I was doing it. So it was just trudging along.
You made a few bucks, enough to stay in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So is that? So that is what drew you down here too?
Yeah, wrestling.
Wrestling.
I was told that this is the place to be because the East Coast, there's all these opportunities. Because I was living in the middle of nowhere, Midwest.
Yeah.
And the drives there are much longer.
Yeah.
I wanted to go some good wrestling. I'd have to drive, 7 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours. And then, of course, you still need to be in Philly.
Yeah,
and then, of course, you're doing that from Iowa or Illinois. That's like almost impossible. So, but at least I'm living here.
Yeah.
9 hours away from Philly, 12 hours away from New York.
Beautiful, yeah.
9 away from Florida.
Yeah.
12 from Tampa. Knoxville's 4.
Yeah.
Nashville's 6.
So you can get just a good bit of work just doing that.
Yeah.
So how are you, I mean, other than you are, so you're playing, how do you mix them in, or what, will there, well, I mean, I guess it's not really much of my business, but so what is it, will there be eventually be like a fork in the road? Because I noticed you were really comfortable. I didn't know about the wrestling stuff until a little bit later, but like out of the gate, I go, that guy is like really comfortable for a new comic or something. So, and you're funny, you're well written. So will there be like a fork in the road at some point where you just go, well,
it's probably gonna be soon.
Yeah.
Like, really,
oh wow.
That's kind of where it is for me right now. Is because I mean, I've probably told this before. I have a torn ACL, so there's only so much I can do. So physically, luckily I've done some stuff to strengthen my leg to just get me through. Yeah. But now it's a situation that I finally learned to love wrestling again for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And also, too, like I just wrestled in front of 2,000 people this past weekend. Wrestled Kevin Nash, former world champion. And like he was very appreciative because he was banged up. I know and older guys love wrestling with me because I take care of them.
Oh, nice.
And I have no inclination of doing anything. I'm always going to be there for all their stuff. They know they can trust me, and they know that I'm going to bump well for them, have no problem doing whatever they want to do. Yeah. And so they appreciate me for that. So I'm getting appreciated for that. I get paid for it. Yeah. So you can't turn those opportunities down. I could still probably do those opportunities. Yeah. This is, telling jokes in front of people is what I want to be doing for the next 10 years.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you have a torn ACL.
Yeah, exactly. I could still I could still get up on a stage. Right. I could still do that.
Right.
As long as I can get up on that little stage at Evening Muse for now. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. And you now I'm gonna get into stereotyping. Don't let any podcast listeners kill me, but you're really intelligent too. Like, what do these guys, like the older guys, appreciate? Are there guys out there? Because when I think about like some defensive linemen on a football team or some, I never like appreciate the actual brain that it takes to. Are there guys? I always just think of some dude in animal mode. That's just out.
Well, that's kind of sometimes I get put in there with those guys that just know to kill, and then guys that just know to flip and they don't know why. You know what I'm saying? And then it turns into Cirque du Soleil. I've always been very cerebral with what I do because I've never had that type of physical athletic ability. So
I got you.
I've been forced to be smarter.
So that's. I mean, I imagine the older people, like you said, have to have an appreciation for that. Too.
Because they know I'm doing more with less. They're the ones that see that.
Nice. Okay.
But at the same time too, there's kids, Clint. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Probably the way people looked at us when you first started doing comedy. Yeah. The same way I first started doing wrestling. Like, what's this kid doing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a lot of that stuff, man. That's amazing, man. I don't know. We're getting close.
We're getting close. We're going to wrap up. But I want to let people know, I'm going to probably put this up next week. Right before Nick has you up for Tree Monstrous. So
Tree Monstrous, please.
Anybody that's heard this podcast and they really like you, make sure to come out for that. But what else do you got coming up to let people know about?
Yes, sure.
Other than that monstrous trip, whatever.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you.
Go ahead, rattle up.
Every date.
Rattle off every date. Go ahead.
What was it? Cleveland, and then I don't know how you say it. Sault Ste. Marie or Suso. I don't know, and that's Upper Peninsula, and then I'll be in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Some of the start 21, 22, and keep up. It's a Wednesday starts and then you know goes up, and then Thursday up in Michigan. Friday, La Crosse, Wisconsin, and then after that, Duluth, Minnesota. But then I'm down for a week in Oklahoma City at the Looney Bin.
There you go.
I can't remember all the other names, but the Tremonstrous thing is a cool. I started going to concerts there when I moved here. So
and Tremont's closing, so it's a good opportunity.
If
you're going to see any one of them, see somebody that's been here,
absolutely, and I really appreciate the whole production, like him having to produce the show, Nick doing it.
Yep.
Just anybody that does that around town, I have a lot of respect for it because I can't do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've promoted well. Anybody that does it, I completely respect.
Yeah, totally.
But anyways, your social media, how can people get up with you?
All right.
Website, all that stuff, please.
Please. God, I need the hits. ClintNohr.com. That's Clint, CLINT. Some people think it's funny to put the L and the I together. On my ID card in high school, but no, Clint, whatever, like the, Clint, and then NOHR, NOHR.com. And then I got a Twitter, Clint Nohr, NOHR, and Facebook, Clint Nohr, NOHR. And Tinder, I just started, Clint Charlotte.
There you go. Well, anyways, Clint, it has been an absolute honor. Like I said, you were on when I saw you do Crown Station one night.
Right on.
And then like a few months later, I was at the Oddball Festival. And then a few months later, I saw you opening for Kyle Kinane. And I didn't even know you were going to be on it.
Wow.
And I saw you I saw all that in a matter of 3 months. And I was toying it with the idea of doing this. But I'm like, man, I don't know if there's anybody really in trouble you'll be interested in.
Yeah.
But then like I saw you doing all this stuff. I was like, man, this guy's life's got to be really interesting. Like he's doing some stuff. He's getting out there. And like you were always like I said, you always like were trying that hard, and you gave just as much effort at Crown Station as you did opening for Kyle Kinane.
I'm really glad you saw that then, and you saw the Kinane, because that was a great show.
Yeah,
one of my best shows.
You were fantastic. I was
fun.
like that guy, and I think it was pretty close when I was going to start this thing. I almost asked you that night, like, hey, I got this thing going. But I was like, oh, well, hopefully I'll be doing this, and then I'll get to know him a little better.
Yeah.
We'll have a little more artillery. So.
No, that's great, man.
But you were definitely one of those people like, oh, someone cool doing something lives here. Like I want to talk to him.
Man, that's great, man. I didn't know you were around that long ago. Wow, no shit. You're out suspected. I didn't know you were that much of a comedy fan,
Oh yeah,
nerd or whatever. Wow,
for sure.
That's great.
I was at least watching it then. I wasn't doing it quite yet.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much, man. Like I said, I have a lot of respect for what you're doing and stuff. I think it's really cool. I think it's interesting is how close it is to what we,
It's very close.
The two worlds. Yeah. So.
Anyways, thanks, Clint.
Thank you for having me. All right.